studios in Lincoln. 1011 News at 6 starts now.
Abusing prescription drugs. College students tell us why they do it, and their reasoning may shock you.
Hire 2 more cops. That's Lincoln's goal, but who would pay for it? We'll explain.
And in Beatrice, an emotional legal battle and a dog at the center of it all. We've got both sides of the story, and it's our top story on 1011 News at 6. Good evening, everybody. I'm Owen Jensen.
And I'm Abby Turpin. Bridget Farjan is on assignment. Tonight, a dog in Beatrice will get to live. A while back, he slightly injured a boy.
The dog, Lamar, was ordered to be euthanized. But today, both sides in the emotional court fight came to an agreement. And that's good news for Lamar and his family. 1011's Casey Geraldo was in court and has more.
It was sad just having to take him from us because he's part of the family.
That was the tone this afternoon after court adjourned with no decision. Friends and family joined Stephanie Carmen, Lamar's owner. They wore these Free Lamar shirts.
We just want our dog back.
Saturday, they'll get just what they want, but it wasn't without a fight. The dog hurt a 13-year-old boy's leg. As to what actually led to that injury or whether it was a bite or a scratch is apparently still unclear.
I made the decision what I thought was in the best interest of our community and in some other little child that's walking down the sidewalk, and he shouldn't have to worry about being attacked by this dog or any other dog.
But around noon when court got out, the family's attorney told me he planned to talk to the city's attorney.
And see if we can work some resolution out before we drag this whole process through the court system any further.
When I called to check in with the family around 3 this afternoon, they told me Lamar is being microchipped and will be returned to them on Saturday. Reporting in Beatrice, Casey Geraldo, 1011 News.
Now, Lamar's owner, which sued the city to keep Lamar alive and get him back, will have to register the animal as a potentially dangerous dog, and they will be responsible for paying part of his boarding fees at the Humane Society.
To weather now and a nice cool spring day in the capital city.
Yeah, it looks like fall-like temps. We'll stick around for a while. Here's Ken with the first look at your forecast. Hi, Ken.
Good evening, Abby and Owen. We're going to start folks off with a look at the early morning low temperatures across Nebraska and northern Kansas, including a 22-degree record low reading in Alliance in the Nebraska Panhandle this morning. You thought it was May. It's still February in some locations. 32 this morning in Grand Island, just 1 degree above the record low for the date. Began the day at 37 in the capital city. 24 in Broken Bow and 25 degrees this morning for your morning's low temperature. Another very chilly night expected, especially over the eastern half of the coverage area. Frost advisories and freeze warnings posted from Friday morning at 3 a.m. until Friday morning at 8 a.m. This one does include the capital city, as well as Lancaster County, other portions of eastern and southeastern Nebraska, much as we said would be the case yesterday. As far as temperatures are concerned, right now we've got readings in the low 30s to low 50s to low 60s, I should say, as far as 6 o'clock temperatures are concerned. It's 58 right now in Lincoln, 59 degrees in Grand Island, but we're already down to 53 in Norfolk. Winds continue out of the north and northwest, and they are still fresh. They are sustained at 10 to 20 up to 25 miles an hour with some wind gusts between 25 and 35 miles an hour. They'll diminish as the evening wears on. Clear to partly cloudy skies should continue between now and 10 o'clock, with our 10 o'clock temperatures falling all the way back into the 40s and lower 50s. We'll have complete forecast details, talk about some warmer temperatures in that 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you very much, Ken. With 320 police officers on the force, the Lincoln Police Department is the smallest in the state per capita. And with a recent spike in gang-related crimes, they are looking to grow. That's right. Today at a news conference, Mayor Chris Beitler, Police Chief Jim Pashong, and Safety Director Tom Cassidy expressed the need for more officers. Pashong says the city has seen an 18% increase in documented gang membership in the last 7 months. This, along with 4 gang-related murders in the last year, as well as a handful of robberies and other gang activity, has Cassidy convinced they need to step up their efforts to fight these types of crimes.
It will allow us to be more proactive. Rather than investigating gang-related crimes after the fact, we really like to commit the resources so that we can interrupt these patterns before those crimes occur.
Now, the grant called COPS would cover 75% of the cost of salary and benefits for 3 years. After that, the city will have to pay for them. Pashong says they should know whether they get the grant by the end of September.
Police ticket one man and they are looking for another after they clocked the pair racing at speeds of up to 103 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. This happened just after 12:30 this morning near 56 in Lillibridge. LPD says an officer clocked two cars speeding between 86 and 103 miles per hour. Police cited 24-year-old Charles Ralston for speeding and engaging in a speed contest. Officers tried pulling over the second driver, but he fled after police ordered him to stop.
Well, tonight the Red Cross is working with homeowners and volunteers to make sure the cleanup process is a safe one following last Sunday's string of tornadoes. They say watch out for potential gas leaks, and if you smell gas, leave the building quickly. Also, clean up spilled medications, bleaches, and other flammable liquids that could become a fire hazard. And watch your animals closely. Pets may become disoriented because tornadoes and heavy rains can affect scent markers that normally allow animals to find their homes. Volunteers who want to help, call the Seward County Emergency Management Office at 402-643-4722.
This week's Star City Buzz is now available online. This week, our feature story is on the historic Warren Building in Friend, Nebraska. How their historical society has made it their mission to restore and revive the building. You absolutely won't believe what they have accomplished already. And we speak with artist Bob Hall, whose human figure art display is on exhibit at the Irontail Gallery until the end of May. Plus, Tim Miles will once again be the keynote speaker at the Big Red Dinner for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. That's happening on June 5th, and we have ticket information. Catch the entire segment on StarCityBuzz.com.
Well, tonight there's a growing trend on college campuses around the country. Students abusing ADHD medication. In a special report, David Jesperson sits down with two students who admit to abusing Adderall. One says he does it to party all night. The other says he uses it to get good grades, and he's not alone.
Anyone that I know probably could find Adderall at any given point in time and any day.
If I gave you $10 right now, how quickly could you go and get me a couple of pills?
Depends on how far the drive is to my friend's house. So in 20 minutes I could be back.
But there are dangers to the abuse: hallucinations, blackouts, even poisoning. 1011's David Jesperson takes an in-depth look at the problem in a special report tonight at 10.
President Obama says no act of terror can match the strength and character of the United States, saying, quote, "Nothing can ever break us." Speaking at the dedication in New York for the National September 11th Memorial Museum, the president spoke of a young man named Wells Carruthers who lost his life helping others.
They didn't know his name, but they knew their lives had been saved by the man in the red bandana.
For us, he lives on in the people he helped and in the memory of what he chose to do that Tuesday in September.
The museum that honors the nearly 3,000 people killed in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania opens to the public on May 21st.
And at this hour, we have a traffic alert to tell you about this evening. Traffic around L Street in Lincoln is shut down west of 16th Street due to a gas leak. Lincoln Fire and Rescue crews are on scene after construction crews working on the Centennial Mall renovation clipped a gas line. Crews are waiting for Black Hills to arrive and secure that line.
Still ahead, the Huskers get set to start what could be a pivotal series to their Big Ten title and NCAA tournament chances.
Plus, a bizarre story takes a new twist as a former NFL player already behind bars is indicted in 2 murders.
Cast you can trust. Here's 1011 Chief Meteorologist Ken Shemick.
Temperatures overnight again tonight will be the big weather story for the 4th night in a row. At least some portions of the coverage area with either frost advisories or freeze warnings. This one over the eastern half of the state, including over eastern portions of Kansas. Freeze warnings for northeastern portions of Nebraska, and then frost advisories surrounding those areas. Again, folks, if you've already got it in the ground and it is tender vegetation, make sure that you get it covered tonight. We could be looking at not only some unseasonably cold temperatures, but maybe even some record cold temperatures in some locations. Let's check out current conditions in the capital city. Let's let's call this mostly sunny. 56 degrees, still have a north wind at 18, gusting between 20 and 25 miles an hour. But I think that breeze will continue to diminish and fairly rapidly as we move through the next hour or two. But right now, 56 feels like 52. Here's a check of temperatures across the entire 10-11 coverage area. Lower 50s to lower 60s. Covers just about everybody. Omaha, one of the cooler spots at 52 right now. It's 55 in York, 59 degrees in Grand Island, 59 in Hastings, 61 in Kearney, and 60 degrees in North Platte, 62 in both Imperial and in McCook. Most of us are still looking at a little bit of a north breeze, anywhere from around 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's the sustained wind, and some wind gusts between 20 and 30 miles an hour. So if you're out early this evening, certainly breezy conditions, but as we mentioned, those winds should be diminishing as the evening wears on. Clear to partly cloudy skies across most of Nebraska and northern Kansas at this hour, and if we widen out the view, you're going to see fairly quiet conditions upstream. Let's check out Skycast and talk about what happens overnight tonight. We actually have a cool area of Canadian high pressure that will continue to sink to the south, so that means clear to partly cloudy conditions for most of us and those very chilly temperatures overnight tonight. We will see yet another disturbance, upper level disturbance in the northwest flow aloft. It's going to increase the clouds over western and central Nebraska late tonight, early tomorrow morning, so that could hold temperatures up at least a little bit for some folks in the western two-thirds of Nebraska. Can't rule out some scattered light showers, especially over the western third of the state, even into the early morning hours tomorrow, and then at least a small chance for a few afternoon showers as well as that disturbance continues to drift towards the south and east. Even in the Lincoln, Omaha, Columbus, Beatrice, and Falls Cities area, small chance for an afternoon or early evening shower, but I think the vast majority of the day over eastern Nebraska tomorrow will be cool but mainly dry. And then it looks like things will quiet down once again as we move through the overnight hours with some cloud cover around into early Saturday morning and a little bit of a south breeze. I don't think we're going to be quite as chilly tomorrow night. So for most of us, especially over eastern Nebraska, tonight into early tomorrow morning will certainly be the coldest stretch, and then things should start to rebound a little bit. Can't rule out a few isolated showers during the day on Saturday, but I think much of Saturday will be dry with temperatures moderating just a bit. Looks like a lot of us have a shot at 70 degrees or better by Sunday, but by Sunday night and Monday, here comes the next weather system. And although our temperatures will be warming up early next week, our rain chances will continue in the forecast. This is what we're looking at late afternoon on your Friday. Temperatures will run the range from the middle 50s to the middle 60s from north to south. I think late afternoon temperatures, again, for most of us in the upper 50s to lower 60s on your Friday afternoon. At 9 o'clock tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies, quiet but cool. We should be around 48 degrees in the capital city by 9 with a light northeast wind. At 7 a.m., frost advisory includes the capital city. We're going to go with 32. Northwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The record low tomorrow morning is 31, and that's probably about as close as we want to get to it. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, some increasing clouds, a small chance for an isolated shower. Not quite as breezy as this afternoon. West winds at 5 to 15. We'll see a 3 o'clock temperature around 59 degrees. We'll top out at 61. We're going to try and make it into the mid-60s on Saturday with that small shower chance, maybe the lower 70s on Sunday, and then temperatures at or above average for a change for much of next week, but you can see some 30% thunderstorm chances thrown in there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So a warm-up, but the unsettled part of the pattern, meaning the chance for precipitation, lingers for much of the week.
I saw some robins in my yard today. They looked a little confused. They're like, wait a minute, what's going on?
What's happening
Well,
here?
and you said earlier the one had a jacket on, so that's when you know that you're still a little chilly in spring.
Very good. Ken, thank you very much. Straight ahead on 10-11 News at 6, an exciting night ahead for Nebraska baseball fans.
That's right. 10-11's Kevin Suits is live at Haymarket Park, where the Huskers open a 3-game series against Illinois. Hi, Kevin.
Guys, it's a beautiful night for baseball. A little bit breezy, might get a little bit chilly as this game wears on, but hey, it could be really exciting. The wind is blowing out to right field. We'll talk about the Huskers' upcoming game against Illinois next in a live report here from Hawks Field.
With the Nebraska Sportscaster of the Year, Kevin Suits.
Good evening from Haymarket Park, where Nebraska and Illinois begin a 3-game series tonight here at Hawks Field. What a great night for baseball. And this is a huge series in terms of the conference race. Both teams are tied for second place with identical 14-5 records. Each team both looking to get into the NCAA tournament as well. Now for the Huskers, these will be their final home games of the regular season. And for the seniors, the last time they play here at Hawks Field. There are 7 seniors on this year's team, and what an adventurous career these guys have had. 4 are holdovers from the Mike Anderson days. They experienced a coaching change, a conference change, and the school's first 4-year stretch of no NCAA tournament appearances since the mid-90s.
You know, we've been through it all. We've been through Big 12, getting embarrassed, playing for Coach Anderson, him leaving, Coach Ursed coming in. just the ups and downs of that. I think we've learned more than anything. You know, we've learned how to win. And when I got here, I don't know if I knew how to be on a good team.
Can't get much worse than it had been a couple of years ago, and it is what it is. But now, like you said, we've learned from that, and I think that we're starting to win some of those games that in years past we weren't winning.
These seniors have combined to play in over 500 games at Nebraska. They've had winning seasons. They've been under 500. They've been at 500. Hopefully this year they can get back into the big dance. Nebraska, Illinois tonight. First pitch is 6:35. The game will not be televised. We'll have highlights and post-game reaction coming up tonight on 10-11. Over in Omaha, it's day 2 of the high school state soccer championships. 3 Lincoln teams in action today, including Lincoln Southwest. The Silverhawks in their quarterfinal game taking on Millard North. We picked the action up in the first half. Southwest on the free kick. Justin Wiley to Max Hubler, who heads it in. Southwest in front 1-0. Then in the second half, it's A.J. Wiley. Sneaks behind the defense, and Wiley buries it. That would put the Silverhawks in front 3-0. Then later, it's Hubler, the distributor this time. Hubler to A.J. Wiley, his second goal of the game, and Lincoln Southwest wins it by a final of 4-1. The Silverhawks advance to the state semifinals.
I think we came out with a little nerves to start out with. We had some moments, but we calmed down and played within ourselves. We're comfortable. We got used to this, and we like a big field like this. It allows us to play the way we want to play. With the talent that we have in midfield, it plays into our hands.
Meanwhile, Lincoln East taking on South Sioux City in the quarters. First half action, South Sioux City on the attack. Brian Errol goes upper 90. That would put the Cardinals in front 1-0. East answers, though, in the second half. Jonah Garvin, one of the best players in the city, from outside the box, puts it in the back of the net. 1-1 is the score. Then later it's tied up ones when South Sioux gets the game winner from Arturo Lopez, who heads it in. South Sioux City gets the victory by a final of 2-1. Grand Island, nationally ranked at one point this season, the Islanders were. GI facing Omaha West Side today. Second half, off the free kick. Ball remains loose, and West Side would convert. It's Robert Wiseman for the goal, 2-0. 2 goals came in 2 minutes for West Side. So Grand Island having to come from behind. 69th minute when Jose Harrow gets the goal off the deflection, but that's the only one that goes in for Grand Island. The Islanders are eliminated by a final of 2-1. Well, getting back to baseball now, the Lincoln Salt Dogs begin the 2014 season tonight. It's the first of 100 games of the regular season. Dogs manager Ken Overfell, who's in his second year, says the team with the best defense and pitching will likely win the American Association this summer. That's why the Dogs, in part, decided to overhaul nearly all of its pitching staff.
We really went out and tried to strengthen our pitching staff and brought in some pretty good bullpen guys. When we lost P.J. Zachi and R.J. Rodriguez had retired, basically, we knew we had to strengthen the back end of our bullpen again, and we did that.
The Dogs play at Kansas City tonight. Home opener for Lincoln is next Friday. Again, Nebraska baseball tonight against Illinois, 6:35. We'll be back with all the highlights and goodies from Haymarket Park tonight at 10. We're back with more news right after this.
In national headlines, Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki says that he hopes to have a preliminary report within 3 weeks detailing how widespread treatment delays and falsified patient scheduling reports are at VA facilities nationwide.
That follows allegations that up to 40 veterans may have died while awaiting treatment at the Phoenix VA Center. Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal of Connecticut says there appears to be, quote, evidence of a crime, unquote, by some VA employees.
Prosecutors say former New England Patriot Aaron Hernandez, who is already facing 1 murder charge, was also the gunman in an unrelated 2012 double slaying in Boston while he was playing for the Patriots. District Attorney Daniel Conley says the victims were ambushed and executed as they were driving home, and that Hernandez was the gunman.
And the debate over so-called net neutrality has been taken up by the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. Today, an FCC committee cleared the way for internet service providers to charge websites hefty fees for faster streaming video and better delivery of content. Internet service providers like AT&T and Verizon could soon charge larger websites for the upgraded services, leaving smaller websites with a slower user experience. The proposal has sparked a turf war between Silicon Valley and the telecom industry.
Well, stay with us. We'll update your forecast right after this.
We think this will be the last night or the overnight for frost advisories and freeze warnings, but they cover about the eastern half of 10-11 country tonight, including Lincoln and Lancaster County. So again, please be taking note of the very chilly temperatures expected. As far as temperatures are concerned right now, we're in the low 50s to low 60s. It's 56 in Lincoln, still 59 degrees in Grand Island. Most of us still have a little bit of a north breeze, anywhere from around 8 to 18 mile an hour sustained winds, with some wind gusts between 20 and up to 30 miles an hour, but these winds should diminish over the next hour or two. Clear to partly cloudy skies across the region at this hour. We think that continues certainly between now and 10 o'clock, with most areas dry. Temperatures will be cooling back into the mid-40s to right around 50 degrees, so a chilly evening headed our way and breezy early in the evening. Some warmer temperatures coming, but not until late into the weekend, most of next week.
And you know, you've given us so many warnings, but guess what my husband and I have not yet done?
Oh, no.
Covered our plans.
Oh, no. Well, shame.
Do it on my dinner break.
Yeah, right. I won't be doing that. I'm just going to eat. Have a good night, and we'll see you back at 10.